Nematode mussels have two neuromuscular junctions that are targeted by the anthelmintic drugs. The first one is the excitatory neuromuscular junction. It releases acetylcholine as a neurotransmitter, acting on ganglion-type nicotinic receptors. And the other is the inhibitory neuromuscular junction that releases GABA, or gamma aminobutyric acid, acting on GABA receptors. Again, remember that these are the junctions that are targeted by the anthelmintic drugs. So if you talk about the drugs, levamisole is an anthelmintic that stimulates the nicotinic receptors at the neuromuscular junction and causes a spastic paralysis that results in the worms being expelled. Ivermectin binds to invertebrate GABA receptors with a greater affinity than that for vertebrate receptors, and may paralyze the worms by increasing GABA-mediated inhibition. However, more recent studies suggest that ivermectin activates a glutamate-gated chloride channel found only in invertebrates. Piperazine is another anthelmintic drug that may act as a GABA agonist, and it also causes flaccid paralysis of the worms. Remember that GABAergic drugs are ineffective against trematodes and cestodes because they do not have peripheral GABAergic nerves. Praziquantel is another drug which is a highly effective agent. It induces muscular contraction and spastic paralysis in these parasites by increasing the calcium fluxes. The drug is taken up by susceptible helminths and binds to the beta subunit of the schizosome voltage-gated calcium channels. This induces an influx of calcium ions and results in spastic paralysis and the detachment of worms. Perhaps more importantly, praziquantel damages the tegmentum or the outer covering of the worm, causing activation of host defense mechanisms and destruction of the helminths. Some anthelmintics have quite well characterized biochemical actions. In particular, benzimidazole derivatives, that is, mebendazole or albendazole or tiabendazole, bind to the beta-tubulin in nematode cells with a much greater affinity than they do to human tubulin, and they block the transport of secretory granules and other organelles. Now, the mechanism of action of some anthelmintics is still unknown. For example, diethylcarbamazine. It is a drug used in the treatment of lymphatic filariasis. It is possible that diethylcarbamazine alters the parasite so that it becomes susceptible to the host immune system. Now, if we get into the little details of the pharmacokinetics of these drugs, remember that mebendazole, albendazole, and tiabendazole have a wide range of action, especially against intestinal nematodes. They are given orally. Now, mebendazole and albendazole have few side effects, probably because they have low systemic bioavailability. Levamisole is amazingly effective in roundworm infections. It is given orally and it paralyzes the worms, which are then expelled in the feces. Levamisole is very rarely causing nausea or vomiting. Ivermectin is active against microfilariae of O. volvulus, but not the adult worm. It is also highly effective against Ascariasis, Enterobiasis, Trichuriasis, and Strongyloidiasis. Now, ivermectin is given orally and it also has few side effects. And remember that praziquantel is highly effective against many trematodes and cestodes, but not nematodes. Keep this in your mind. Now, it is given orally and has no serious unwanted effects. So that was all about the mechanism of action of anthelmintic drugs. So let's move forward and see what diseases or what infections they treat.